right, this is the last video for this week, so we're about to be done. Let's finish up this talk about arithmetic sequences and series. Number 6, they ask us to find a sub 1, and they give us two pieces of information. S sub 8, which means the sum of the first 8 terms is equal to 140, and A sub 8, which means the 8th term is 35. And so if we have to find A sub 1, you get two different choices here for formulas you can use. For if you're given the sum of some terms. So if we have S sub n or S sub 8 is equal to something, we have a formula that involves A sub 1 and A sub n. And we also have a formula that involves A sub 1 and D. So sometimes 1 is easier to use depending on what the given information is. So in this case, we're given a sum. Okay, I want to use one of the S formulas, and we're given A sub 8. That's A sub n. N is 8 in both of those cases. So I'm going to use this formula right here. So it says S sub 8 is equal to n over 2 times A sub 1 plus A sub 8. But in this case, n is 8. So that's what I know. So I can just plug in my values. I say 140 is equal to 8 divided by 2 is a 4 times A sub 1 plus 35. Okay. So I'll distribute that 4. 140 is 4 A sub 1 plus 4 times 35, which is 140, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep, and then I'm just going to solve for A sub 1. So if I subtract 140 from both sides, I'll get 0 is 4 times A sub 1. And divide by 4, I find out that A sub 1 is equal to 0 for number 6. Okay, that's fine. Number 7, find the sum of the first 10 terms of the arithmetic series when A sub 1 is 3 and D is negative 1. So I wrote that differently. This indicates the sum of the first 10 terms. That's what they're asking me to find. Well, if they asked me to find that, and they gave me A sub 1 and they gave me D, then I'm going to use this. I know A sub 1 and I know D. I'm going to use that formula right there. So let's do that. S sub 10 is equal to 10 divided by 2, because n is 10 in this case, times 2 times A sub 1, which is 3, plus n minus 1, or 10 minus 1, times D, which they tell me was negative 1. And that's all I got to do, plug that stuff in. So this is really a 5, this is really a 6, this is a 9 times negative 1, negative 9. Always, always, always use order of operations, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, work left to right. Inside my parentheses, I got to do this first. 6 plus negative 9 is negative 3. Negative 15 is the answer to number 7. Okay, cool. Number 8, find the sum of the first 71 terms of the arithmetic sequence, and they give us the sequence. And so I just wrote down find this, because that means find the sum of the first 71 terms. So what they told me in this case was the sequence. And it starts off A sub 1 is 30, A sub 2 is 37, A sub 3 is 44, 51, and so on. That's what they told me. I'm going to use the fact that they gave me two terms side by side to calculate D real quick, because I know it's an arithmetic sequence and there's a common difference. If I pull out 37 and I subtract the term in front of him, 30, I get that this is what D is. So I know D, and I know A sub 1. This is A sub 1. It's the first thing that popped up. That's the first term. This is D. If I know the first term and I know D, then it's easy to calculate that. So S sub 71 is equal to n divided by 2, or 71 divided by 2. Times 2 times A sub 1, which is 30, plus n minus 1. 71 minus 1 is 70, times D, which is 7. All right, this is just not that bad. Inside my parentheses, I have a 60, I have a 490, 7 times 70, I have a 71 over 2. This is equal to 71 over 2 times, what is that going to be? 550, 550. If I divide 2 into that, I get 275, I think. And 71 times 275 is, where did I lose it? Oh, it is going to be 19525. 19525. This is the sum of the first 71 terms for this sequence. All right, number 9. It says, evaluate S sub 10, and we already know that means the sum of the first 10 terms of the arithmetic sequence where A sub 1 is 12 and A sub 10 is 5.5. So they gave me A sub 1. Okay, that's nice. And, oh, they gave me, I'm looking at the same value, 10. So, I know A sub 1 and I know A sub 10, so I can find S sub 10. I'm going to use this formula. That's an easy one. So this will be S sub 10, all right, is equal to N over 2, 10 over 2, times A sub 1, which is 12, plus A sub N, or A sub 10, plus 5.5. This is going to be 17.5 times 5, and you can multiply that together, and you get 87.5. Okay, that's number 9. Number 10 says, find A sub 1 and D. And this time they give us S sub 12 and A sub 12. So, by the way, if you want to go ahead and pause and get your calculator, you will definitely need it for number 11. Okay? Because I'm going to show you how to find the summation stuff on your, if you have a TI, that's the one I know how to find it on. So. All right, so here we go. Let's do number 10. Find A sub 1 and D given this. So, number 10. Well, if I have A sub 12 and A sub 12, I have A sub 12 and S sub 12. This formula involves both of that, and I could solve for A sub 1. If I know A sub 1, then I can use that to solve for D. So that's my plan. So I'm going to use the fact that, okay, so S sub 12, which is equal to negative 106, is equal to N over 2, or 12 over 2, times A sub 1, which I do not know, I'm trying to figure that out, plus A sub N, A sub 12, which I do know, plus negative 17. All right, so this is what I basically have. This is minus 106 is 6 times A sub 1 minus 17. So I'm going to distribute this 6. This is negative 106 is equal to 6 times A sub 1 minus 6 times 107 is, did I already write that down? I hope I did. I hope I did. I hope I did. 102 minus 102. All right, so now I'm going to add 102 to both sides, which gives me a negative 4 is 6A1. Divide by 6, I get negative 2/3 is A sub 1. That's A sub 1. Okay, that took care of that. Now we got to find D. I'm going to use this top formula. A sub 12, which I know is equal to negative 17, is equal to A sub 1, which is negative 2/3, plus N minus 1, 11 minus 1 times D, which I don't know, which is I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so this is what I basically have. Negative 17 is equal to negative 2/3 plus 10D. I'm going to add 2/3 to both sides. So I have negative 17 over 1 plus 2 over 3 is equal to 10D. If I say set times 3 times 3, 17 times 3 is 21, 3, 4, 5. This will be a negative 51 plus a 2 over 3. Gives me negative 49 over 3 is 10D. If I divide both sides by 10, I get negative 49 over 30 is what D is equal to. And I'm just checking. I got 33 before. What did I do wrong here? Let me just check. Oh, here's my mistake. All right, right here. A sub n is equal to a sub 1. All right, a sub n, which is negative 17, is equal to a sub 1, negative 2/3, plus n minus 1. N was 12, minus 1 would make that 11. So this is 12. So this should really be 11D. 11D. And that means I'm going to have this is 11D. So then when I divide both sides by 11, I get 49 over 33. And that is what D equals to. All right, now go grab your calculator, and I'm going to show you how to use some fun buttons. If you are using a TI-84 or a TI-84 plus, your summation buttons are under the math button. So if you're looking at your calculator right here, you should see the y equals, the blue second, the alpha, and then the math button right there. If you hit the math button, you can use the down arrows till you hit 0, or you can just press 0, and what you do, you're going to get this nice little summation thing that pops up. If you're not using a TI, then I don't know how to work Casio's and some of the other brands, but the tutoring people at Valencia know about all of the calculators, and they're well versed in those, so you can probably get a lot of help there if you're looking for this button. However, it's not necessary that you do this, because we just talked about all the other ways you could do it without using your calculator. And for sure, I will be asking you to calculate things, showing me your work analytically with the rules that we've already talked about. But if I give you a problem that says, hey, use your calculator, you're allowed to just press the buttons and do it. So I wanted to show you how to do this. So for number 11, if we're going to do this, I've already been through the summation properties and rules and showed you how we could do this using the rules really easily. And if I ask you to do that, you'll have to show me the work where you did it. But if I say use the calculator, just give me the answer. And so this is what I would do. Hit math, hit 0, and then it's going to have you fill in the little boxes. So right now, my first box I have to fill in is my counter. I always choose my variable button, X, this variable button X right there. I'm going to press that. And then I'm going to say, then fill in the number 1, and then you can use your up arrow to hit the top 110. And then it's going to, then you hit the side arrow, it's going to give you the parentheses and fill in 3x plus 5, because I chose variable X to use 3x plus 5. Okay, so that's what I have typed in. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then I'm just going to hit enter, and my answer is 215. And so just like that. Now for one like this, we could totally figure out it using other means, and we can always just plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and add all those numbers up. But if I let you use your calculator, this is how you can do it. So I'm going to do it for this one. I'm going to hit math and go to 0. By the way, hitting second quit, if your calculator is stuck in some mode, will get you out of that. It's a good freedom button. And so I'm still going to choose X. From 1 to 10, and then I'm going to fill all this in. 4.4x plus 9.79. 4.4x plus 9.79. And then I'm going to hit, and so this is what mine looks like before I hit enter. And now I'm going to hit enter, and my answer is 339.9. So I wanted you guys to see that. That is a good thing to know. Now, number 12. Let's look at number 12. It says find the sum of all integers. Remember, integers are positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. But these are going to be positive ones because it starts at 45 and goes to 49. So we could say 45 plus 46 plus 47, and we could add all those up to 99 and add up all those numbers. Or I think we could do this. We are just summing numbers, right? We're summing numbers where I is 45 to 99. So we could do this. We could certainly put it in our calculator, or we could also do this. We could use one of the formulas as well, or we could use one of these formulas. But if we're summing from 45 to 49, let me just go to the summation properties, right? And if I go to the summation properties that we learned, it says that if you're summing up this to I, what you have to do is say this is equal to n. Oh, this is from 1 to n. Oh, so this is a little bit trickier because we're starting at 45. So I would have to check on the rules. But I know we could do this. We could say, what is the sum if we have 45, 46, 47 to 99? How could we do this? All right. A sub 1 is 45, right? D is 1. 46 minus 45 is 1. So I could easily find S sub, oh, I have to figure out how many terms there are. That's the only tricky part. So, that's not too bad. Take 99 minus 45, and that's 54. But n is not 54, it's really 55 because I am also counting 45, so I have to add 1 to that. So, S sub 55 is what I'm after. So very easily I could say, okay, that's equal to 55 over 2 times the first term, which was 45, plus the last term. What's A sub 55? It's 99 divided by 2. So let's see what we would get here. I would simply, where did I do this one? There, I did it. I would simply say 55, this is going to be 90 plus 54. What's happening here? What did I do wrong there? Something's not right. Hang on. Yeah, I think I just didn't do that right. Okay. So, plus A sub, the last term is 99. We do know that one. Because we'll trick it 2 ways. I'm doing this formula. I think on my sheet I did that formula. I did this one. Okay, we'll do it this way. S sub 55 is 55 over 2 times 45 plus 99. Let's see what we get here. We'll check it with the other. 45 plus 99 times 55 divided by 2 gives me 3960. Okay, that's great. I used, which one did I just use? I just used this one. Okay, now I'm going to use this bottom one. S sub 55 is equal to 55 over 2 times 2 times A sub 1. What did we say A sub 1 was? 45. 45. Plus n minus 1. 55 minus 1 is 54. Times the value of D. We said D was 1. All right, this is equal to 55 over 2 times 90 plus 54. Let's see what we get here. 90 plus 54 is 144 times 55 divided by 2 is 3960. So there's a number of different ways we could get at that. So that is a big introduction to arithmetic sequences and series. Next week, after this week, after we get through the test this week, right? We're going to continue to talk about sequences and series, and we're talking about geometric sequences and series. And then we get into the binomial theorem, which is super fun. All right.